What's up guys, Big Ape 93 here today to bring you my Dragon Ball Super Episode 51 review. For those of you that watched my Raw review of the episode, you'll know that if you enjoyed talking, this episode was for you. There was so much talking. But having said that, this week's episode was entitled Feelings That Surpass Time, Trunks and Mai. We start the episode off where we left off last week, where everyone was confused as to why there was another time machine. Because I guess everyone didn't remember, or they just weren't aware that that was the one that Cell used. But when they do stuff like this where they tie it in with Z, I love it. For everyone that is thinking, wait a second, didn't Trunks wind up keeping both of them? Well, that gets explained away by a flashback to the Cell Saga, where before Trunks left, Bulma asked him if she could keep it. Piccolo points out that both time machines are indeed one and the same then. Krillin asked Bulma why she didn't clean it up, since the incident with Cell happened years ago, to which Bulma replies that she didn't want to mess it up or end up damaging it further. Bulma also points out that she couldn't make heads or tails of the technology either way, so she did decide to keep it put up until now. After this, however, they all re-agree to go to the future and help Trunks out. Goku wants to go right away, but they explain to him that it will take some time before it is ready to go. We get a bit with Vegeta as well, stating that he will be coming along also, as he told them he will be handling a certain task, killing Black we can presume. But it's so weird seeing so much emotion from Vegeta lately. Bulma explains that with the notes she got from the future, she will be able to fix the time machine, she hopes, but it will take some time. Goku, being Goku, gets excited and he wants to train some more before fighting Black. He goes to ask Beerus and Whis to train him some more, but they say they aren't in the mood because they had 2 time machines pop up in a row. It just goes to show you how big of an issue this is, because they do seem to be rather bothered by this whole thing. After this, however, it is suggested that he train with Vegeta instead, and almost everyone seems to notice the mood Vegeta is in, as Goku calls it, fearful, and he's not sure if he would want to train with him right now. So training with Beerus and Whis is out of the question, training with Vegeta is out of the question. What is Goku gonna do? Well, he does what Goku always does, and he goes to King Kai's planet. Now what happens next is really also intriguing, because Vegeta is going into the gravity room to train, and he gets this very intriguing line where he says, "I won't forgive him." Now we can assume he is talking about Black, but does that mean that he really, to an extent, cares about future Bulma, or is it just the fact that Black killed a version of Bulma? It'll be interesting to see how that plays out, although Vegeta finally getting the final blow would be very nice. Goku arrives at King Kai's planet, where he's met with a less than ideal welcome, as upon arriving, King Kai tells him to just simply go away. Cue the jump back to the future where we see Black. He notes that the memory of the battle he just had with Goku is being slowly embedded into his mind and body. After this, he does one of Goku's stances where Black notes that the movements of Goku fit a body that resembles Goku. Who would have ever thought? Black then begins shooting random bits of broken down cities, where I'm assuming he's just testing out his newfound power, but he also notes here that he wants to learn everything he can about Goku, because as Black puts it, learning more about Goku will help him get stronger in this body. We then jump back to the present, where Bulma's parents arrive from what we can presume was a vacation, and Trunks tells future Trunks who they are, to which he replies that he has met them once before. Bulma asks them how their trip was, which they say was fine, and then they both notice future Trunks is back, and they start asking him a bunch of questions. We then get a bit with Beerus and Whis, Beerus asking about dinner and Whis saying it's a bit too early for dinner. And immediately following this, for those of you that watched the episode, we get the bit with Beerus twirling a straw around in his mouth, and it was quite something. I died of laughter the first time it happened. Back to the time machine and getting it repaired. Bulma asks her dad if he will help her out with it, and shows him the formulas and equations from the book that she got from future Bulma, to which he says he will try to help. After this, we get a filler scene with the Pilaf gang talking about how they're going to take the time machine apart and use the future technology to build a world domination weapon, as we all know how that would turn out. After this, Trunks overhears Pilaf calling Mai by her name, and he finally puts two and two together. Trunks then begins to explain the connection between the two of them in the future. Bulma tells everyone that they will start working on the repairs soon, and that Krillin and Piccolo are responsible for fixing the garden that was damaged during the encounter with Black. Trunks begins to go into detail about the world of the future. He explains that when Black first appeared, that the majority of the population was wiped out during his first attack. Trunks then goes on to explain how most of the military was also wiped out after being attacked by Black. Trunks then goes on to explain that the remaining people formed factions across the planet, and that Mai was one of the leaders of these factions. Trunks also talks about the time they tried to ambush Black with little success. The attack had little effect on him, as you could imagine, as he is just catching the bullets bare-handed. They get Black into position and they set off the bomb, to which it brings the whole city crumbling down on top of him, but he just laughs it off as you would expect. Trunks then shows up to fight Black again, and it seems like from all the fights we have seen with these two, Trunks gets one-shotted like all the time, and that is exactly what happened with this one. Something of note from this little section here, though, is that we get the reveal that Black tells Trunks he is from a much higher realm than him. So there's definitely a Kai connection there, or a connection to the gods at least, because Black goes on to explain that he is going to kill humanity for the gods, as they are their one mistake they created. Right when Trunks is about to bite the big one, Mai sets off a flashbang and it allows them to escape. After they escape, they talk about how the wound would be nothing if they had some senzu beans to heal Trunks. As far as the senzu beans go, however, that just opens up a whole other can of worms regarding the original plot continuity of the reason why they weren't in future Trunks' timeline. The original explanation, as far as I can remember, was that they had died out in Trunks' timeline, and that the last one was used to save Trunks and keep him alive instead of letting Gohan get his arm back. Now Trunks explains that it is because Korin is dead and that they are no longer able to grow them. It's during this that we get a scene where Mai tells Trunks that he has to be the one to stay alive because he is the hope for all of them and the reason they keep on fighting. Trunks notes how he feels like he can't be the hope because the hope keeps having to get saved by everyone. Trunks then mentions how if Gohan or Vegeta were around, they could surely win. He goes on to say that he wishes to thank Mai for the help and that he wants present Mai to help with the repairs on the time machine. Kid Trunks then goes on to ask Future Trunks if Mai had helped him so much, why didn't he bring her back with him? Future Trunks then explains what happened before he left, and that as far as he knew, Mai was dead. Goku returns and he explains that he couldn't train with King Kai because he was in a bad mood. He also tells Trunks that he needs to liven up because he's been way too stressed since he came back to this era. They begin to work on the cleaning of the time machine, and we jump back to a bit with Beerus and Whis talking about how they have felt Black's ki before. They both note that they think they've met him before, and Whis says he'll look into it, and Beerus says he'll leave it to him. We then cue the end of the episode with Beerus shouting, "Is it dinner time yet?" Now as far as the preview goes, if you watched my Raw review, you'll know how excited I am for the next episode. Why am I excited, you ask? Well, let me tell you. I am beyond hyped because we'll be getting new animation with Trunks and Future Gohan in the next episode. For those of you that don't know, Future Gohan is one of my all-time favorite characters from the series. From what I can tell, it looks like Gohan and Trunks are going to be doing some catching up, and Trunks is going to explain to present Gohan how different he is from his future counterpart, as they had different lives due to the androids. On the other side, however, it looks like Goku, Beerus, and Whis are going to be flying off to Universe 10 to visit Zamasu, the mysterious Kai figure from the opening credits. And that's about all we have this week, guys. As always, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like, and please subscribe if you wouldn't mind. And if you want to keep up with everything else geek-related, you can always follow me on Twitter or like my Facebook page. As always, you guys have a wonderful day.